You are checking after the yes with Sarah Jane.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. It's me, Sarah Jane, with After the Yes. I've changed the scenery a little bit. I wanted to chill with you guys, relax. And today we're going to talk about answers to your questions. First, thank you so much for sending them in, for answering the call. I told you nothing was off the table. Ask anything you'd like. And so much so, I'm actually going to have to break this episode in a couple parts because I don't think we could get through all of them in one episode. So I'm excited to start with these questions because I'm positive several others that did not submit questions or might just be finding out about After the Yes have the same thoughts. So we're going to get started. We're going to dive in. How are you? How are you? How is your day? I hope it's positive and productive, and we focus on the wins and the blessings and not the detours and distractions or disappointments. Okay. I do definitely believe the mindset makes a huge difference. So, if you guys have been watching for a while, you know I always bring a cocktail. Join me if you're able to watch and not listening like on Spotify or iTunes. I bring champs, bring a mocktail, bring a Cosmo, bring a margarita, whatever you'd like. I love a good margarita, by the way. So I'm going to take a sip and then let's get into it. All right. So, first question was from Cynthia on IG. She hit me up in the DMs. Thank you so much. And her question was, how do you handle people showing up who did not RSVP? This happens. Fantastic question, Cynthia. Thank you. You know, there's a couple tricky ways to handle it. I definitely have had that happen. It happens yearly. It's really interesting. Either someone just shows up and doesn't think that it's going to be a big deal, or they insist they RSVP'd. Who knows? It's definitely a delicate balance. And I do have conversations with my personal clients how they would like to handle it. And then I also ask them for a point of contact, meaning I do not want to disturb the bride and the groom, my couples, for any reason on the day of the wedding. So the point of contact is, who can I go to if this person is insisting they RSVP'd, they don't see their name on the seating chart, they don't see an escort card? What would you like to do? Sometimes it's fairly easy to accommodate a guest. It's buffet. They might have to wait a few minutes for us to ask for an extra place setting and a chair. And then bada bing, bada boom. I can usually handle that 2 or 3 times. It's a little bit more complicated when it's a plated meal where everybody chose fish or chicken. Then it becomes a little bit more complex. So once that person is vouched for and that point of contact says, yes, they are family, they can stay, then I work with the banquet event manager at the venue and find out where I can put them. Definitely last minute, you don't get the option of selecting who you'd like to sit with. Tables, maybe a table that had only 7 guests or 8 guests, and most of our round tables can accommodate 10. I'll find out where we can put someone. Occasionally, there are empty seats every now and then, but that's still hard to judge because we don't know if someone's running late, stuck in traffic, and then say the people that did RSVP, that find their escort card, come to table 6, and then the seat's already taken. So I definitely do not like to do that unless it's a little bit later in the evening and maybe they've missed like the first course. Then I feel a bit more comfortable. So the short answer, Cynthia, is it all depends. Definitely you want to have a contact person who knows your guest list, who knows majority of the family that we could connect with, the venue, if you have a planner, could connect with, and then accommodate them that way. I have had on a few occasions, especially larger weddings. I had this at a Vietnamese wedding. I had this at a Nigerian wedding where they actually set a couple tables that were just for guests that showed up that didn't RSVP. A lot of times, culturally, this is not a surprise and it's something out of our control. And in both instances, they were buffet dinners. So if somebody came and they had not RSVP'd, we already knew table 20 and 21 were allocated for those pop-ups. If that's a possibility, and I know it's like a juggle, especially when you're paying per head, but in that kind of circumstance, that definitely keeps it easy and a little less stressful. So that is the answer, complex answer about what do you do when guests show up who haven't RSVP'd. Thank you again, Cynthia. All right, next question. Jennifer emailed me. If you didn't catch it before, my email is aftertheyespodcast@gmail.com. Ask any questions, ask away. Do you want to be featured on my podcast? Whatever you'd like, send me a shout out. I'll definitely get back to you. So Jennifer emailed, I love flowers, but hate breaking the bank on something that has to be thrown away. Any suggestions? I feel you. I feel you. I've worked with clients that have $20,000 floral budgets. And at the end of the day, sometimes we can take a few home and we try to give them away. But majority of those flowers are going to meet their demise at the end of the night. And that's hard, especially when they're so beautiful. So I like to repurpose flowers as much as possible. That's number one, as far as cutting down cost on flowers. So your ceremony space, let's say between pictures and guests starting to arrive, about 30 minutes before, it's nice to give them something picturesque. Overdoing it on a space that you're going to be at for an hour max, I always suggest, if we're trying to balance our funds and allocate them the right way, let's put a little less into our ceremony space and more into our reception space when it comes to floral and decor, because that's where your guests will spend the most of the time. So centerpieces can also help with decorating the aisle, putting it on every other aisle, going maybe 5 or 6 rows back. So those low centerpieces, high centerpieces, we can put them on pedestals. But the point is, they didn't just serve a purpose for 1 hour and then they had to be discarded. That's one way. Another way that's becoming super duper popular is renting centerpieces, renting faux florals, silk florals. They look amazing. You can rent them for a fraction of the cost, and then you get to send them back. And so you'll still have a nice ambiance for your ceremony and for your reception. And you can rent bouquets, boutonnieres, garlands for tables, floral runners if you want to decorate an arch, etc. High centerpieces, low centerpieces, you name it. And they really, really do look good. So that's another option that's becoming really popular. And faux florals, let me tell you, they're amazing. They're gorgeous, but they are not always a budget saver. I've actually seen wedding proposals where the faux florals were more than actual flowers. So definitely, if you're thinking about that, understand the difference and price them out, because sometimes the faux floral is not going to be the budget saver that you think. Okay. And the other suggestion, also really, really popular, is you don't have to have big, elaborate centerpieces for every table. So say if you have a wedding with 140 people and you're going to have about 15 tables, mix it up. I actually think that's a fun and a great way to give the room some depth and texture. Have some high centerpieces for some tables. Maybe the tables that flank the dance floor have more of that ooh-ah factor. And then keep things low, lush, and romantic, embellished with candlelight and accents on the tables. And that definitely helps save, because those tall, big, majestic centerpieces can run four, five, $600. And so imagine if you did that for just like 4 tables or 6 tables, and then low, more romantic centerpieces for the other tables that are going to be, $200. So those are my suggestions. They've have tend to be a great way to balance the budget while still having a romantic full floral look for your wedding. So I hope that helps, Jennifer. Thank you. If you want to expound any more, trust me, you can. If you go, well, what about this? Just hit me up and I promise I will answer your question. Okay. So Brett, okay. Awesome. So Brett on IG, thank you for rolling in the DMs. Brett, how bad is it to have a cash bar at a wedding? Ooh. Okay. Okay. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or offend anybody. I'm going to keep it legit. I think it is bad. Period. Period. It's not a good look. Majority of guests at your wedding are bringing you a gift, have traveled, sometimes have to spend accommodations. They're there to celebrate you, and it 100% is your wedding day, but you are the host. Telling people don't forget your wallet once they arrive, it's a little rough. It's a little rough for sure. So when I have clients suggest having a cash bar, and the reason why, for anybody that doesn't know, the reason why people are asking this is because liquor is very expensive for your wedding. Most venues, hotels, for like mid-level, not the house, not the premium, but like mid-level, on average can be $30 to $35 per head per hour. So you could be spending like $88 for the meal, and then the liquor portion is like $120 for each guest for an open bar. So these are the suggestions that I have. So Brett, if it's just yes or no, yes, it is a bad idea. No, don't do it. What I like to suggest as a compromise is limiting the amount of liquor that you serve. And what I mean by that is maybe do beer in a wine bar, period. At least it's come one, come all, and it's still open, and that will definitely help save cost. Or one signature drink, and then as far as liquor, and then keep your beer and wine. I would definitely suggest that. Another thing is, if the venue is willing to work with you, you can close the bar during dinner. Most guests will get drinks during cocktail hour, and then during dinner, there might be some speeches and toast and dancing. And then you can reopen the bar after a lot of the special events and touches have been done, and then it's time to like party. There's some variations of how you can do that, but to expect people to pay for their liquor at your wedding is not a good idea. 10 out of 10 would not recommend. But a great question. I get that a lot. So fabulous question, Brett. Thanks so much. Okay. So Eden, I love it. Hi, Eden. What's up, girl? Thank you for hitting me up on IG as well. Definitely, I am one of those people that you can slide in the DM and ask me a question for sure. I do read them. So I appreciate it. And I even click on that little like other or request, because a lot of times when someone's not your friend and they're hitting you up, you won't see it like regular. It'll be stored in there. So I do make it intention, because I definitely appreciate you reaching out. So Eden girl, okay. How tacky is it to invite someone to the ceremony and not the reception? Hmm. You know, what I have dealt with is actually the other way around, wanting to invite somebody to the reception and not the ceremony. And I've noticed that couples have personal reasons for wanting to keep it intimate. They're even doing exchanging their vows privately before the ceremony because there's a level of sacredness they want to keep to that. And my number one rule is the best traditions are the ones that you create on your own. So I am all for the variances of how couples are exchanging vows and doing their ceremony. I have found when I've gotten this question in the past from my actual clients, it's been from a monetary standpoint of not being able to accommodate everyone at the reception, but they'd love to have as many people there to witness their union. If I was that guest, I would take it a little personally. So I'm good enough to come to the ceremony, but I didn't make the cut for the reception, right? And so you definitely have to handle that very gently. I would advise no, do not do that. Imagine people proceeding to cocktail hour and they have to go. A couple times I've seen couples do the ceremony, and this happens up north a lot, like in the Jers, the time blocks rulings, or with like Catholic ceremonies, you can only do it a certain time in between masses. When there is a block of time in between the ceremony and the reception, I think it's a lot easier to pull off. Usually it's not in the same place, and the ceremony might be 2 to 3, but the reception won't start till 5. And something like that, I think, is a lot easier to digest, inviting someone to witness a ceremony, but they're not invited to the party per se. But definitely, if everything's all at one venue and we're going boom, ceremony, boom, cocktail hour, boom, reception, and they see guests going to grab that glass of champagne and grab that hors d'oeuvre, and they're walking to their car, I don't think it gives off the warm and fuzzies. So if you could avoid it in that scenario, highly recommend it, highly suggest it. But time blocks in between, you would send a separate invitation that invites them to the ceremony to witness your beautiful union. And those that are invited to the whole shebang, they would get the card that includes the reception and celebration portion. All right, Eden, thank you again. Feel free. You're always welcome to ask more than one question. Okay, show you right. Okay, Peter and Jared, was good. Email. Can I save money having a wedding at home? Well, I can tell you 85% of the time, couples are godsmacked about how much it costs to have a wedding at home. It ends up not being the money saver that they thought. Now, sentimental reasons, this home's been in our family for generations. It's on the lake, amazing, like 20 acres. Let's go. But if your choice initially is, I know I can save money having a wedding at home, if it's small and intimate, I think it's possible. 25, 30 people where they stand around in a circle and you and your love and the officiant are in the center, and you exchange vows and say cocktail hours on the deck or on a lower terrace, and then a small tent for the reception. I think it's possible. If you're thinking hundreds of people, there's so many other logistics. So, Peter and Jared, it's not an easy yes or no, but let me break it down for you. How having it at home can actually increase cost. Would you have 100, 140 people go in and out of your home to use the restroom? We usually have to rent. We always rent luxury bathrooms. Those come at a cost. You're going to need to book an attendant because who is making sure that it's clean, refilling like the soap dispenser, toilet paper, etc. That cost. You're going to need a tent, you're going to need a dance floor. Now, instead of a venue that already has tables and chairs and linens, you're going to have to get those piece by piece or get them through the caterer. But no matter what, you're still paying for it individually. 150 people, you need 15 tables. We need to rent 15 tables. We also need to rent 150 chairs for the ceremony and for the reception, because who's moving those chairs in between the ceremony and the reception, right? And so the logistics of what you have to bring in is can your house accommodate that kind of power? So do we need to bring in generators, right? So you're going to have that tent. If it's at night, you're going to need lighting. You're going to need a DJ, right? And so many other things come into play that now you have to bring in, and those things cost. You're going to be charged for the delivery, for the service, for the labor of it all. So renting a company, using a rental company to bring in that dance floor, to bring in the tent, all of the above, sometimes, unless you specify, they're just going to drop off the tables and chairs. Now you need somebody to do it. Or you actually pay extra for them to set it up. You feel me? You see where I'm going here? So we're setting up a ceremony space. We're setting up a cocktail hour space. We're setting up a reception space. And we're bringing everything in. Who's parking the cars? Do we need to book a valet service? There's a lot more involved. So, simple answer, it's doable. It's possible, especially if you're thinking small and intimate. Can you save money if it's larger? Probably not, honestly. Probably not. Because so many other things that you don't need at a venue that's already made and established, you would need to be able to successfully, seamlessly, cohesively have a beautiful wedding at home, in the backyard, etc. And they are gorgeous. Like, they're definitely gorgeous, but it's not always the most cost-effective way as couples think. Fantastic. Thank you. Okay. Ooh, I didn't intentionally save this for last, but this is some good stuff. So Melissa wants to know, do I really need a wedding planner if the venue has an event coordinator? I get that a lot. Thank you so much, because that is a loaded question. I can tell you couples struggle with this decision a lot. And I think it's because it's confusing that they are two totally separate things. Okay, so let me bust it down for you. Majority of my clients, I work with them from engagement on. So I am usually part of finding the venue, finding just the right space that you want to exchange your love, exchange vows, all that beautiful stuff. When couples come to me in a partial planning scenario, they find the venue, they may have found one or two vendors, and then they realize we need to bring somebody in, we need help. They ask me on the phone during consultation, well, the venue comes with an event coordinator, a venue coordinator, a wedding coordinator. The venue coordinator is exactly what it says. The event coordinator that comes with the venue is exactly as it says. They are in charge of what's happening at the venue. They're responsible for keeping the venue in tip-top shape, making sure all rules and regulations are adhered to, right? No one's jumping on the tables, swinging from the priceless chandeliers, but also to make sure there are no bumps in the road. We need lighting fixed. it's kind of warm in here. One of the bathrooms aren't working, right? They want to make sure that the venue is given to you as promised, as contracted with, and then work with other staff that help run the venue. Okay, so like they are responsible for what's in here. They are not going to say, "Oh, it's 4 o'clock. The cake's not here. They said they'd be here at 3:30." They are not going to be able to assist you with the order of music. The DJ can't find his notes or his laptop won't power up. What is the intro song? Did they ever say how long they wanted me to play the music for? The introduction, all of the logistics, all of the details. Your wedding planner that helped curate everything for you, she is there to make sure all of that is executed. So she is the point of contact with, she or he, my apologies. They are the one that are in contact with all your vendors, know the run of show. He created the timeline. And so we all communicate together. So I would say, I like to use the analogy that the wedding planner is like their project manager that makes sure everything runs cohesively between all the wedding vendors that you brought in and the wedding venue. Where are the outlets when it's time for the DJ to set up? The venue coordinator would help with that. What time are they lining up for introductions? The wedding planner would help with that. You feel me? You see how that goes? And so we do collaborate well because at the end of the day, having an amazing, wonderful, once in a lifetime event is what is key importance. But the venue is staying right here. Is the venue good? Is the venue clean? Remember, we said no one can do this. No one can smoke within 50 feet of the venue. If the venue comes with tables and chairs, they'll make sure the tables and chairs are set up upon your arrival, those kind of things. Your wedding planner, everything else, literally. It's time for the first look. It's time to line up. It's time for introductions. I need everybody to come into the foyer so the DJ can run through the names. Hey, it's time to cut the cake. Hey, mom, are you ready to do that welcome speech? Those kind of things. Hey, it's dinner time. We're going to start. Let's feed the bride and groom. Hey, are you ready to change your outfit? It's time for your outfit change while everybody's finishing dinner. The wedding planner, venue, the wedding planner. But that is a fantastic question because I think couples sometimes go, oh, a great way to save money. I don't need a wedding planner because the venue already comes with it. And they don't do that. We're helping bustle the dress. Oh, there's a stain. We're helping cleaning it out. Like, oh, you need Tylenol. I got you. So the wedding planner role is vastly different. The venue coordinator role equally is important because you don't want no smoke. We want a great venue so guests can have an amazing time. But to answer your question, absolutely, you need a wedding planner separate from the venue coordinator that comes with your package that you booked. Hey, I didn't do too bad. So we got through all 6, and I will actually email you guys back and reply to your answers as well on IG, just in case you missed this episode, because I didn't say when it was dropping. But I appreciate so much the questions, and I can't wait to take the next set on. And if you still have questions, this is something I want to continuously do. Maybe do a Q&A once a month. So don't hesitate again. You can find me actually at Planners on Retainer on IG and just submit a question to me on DM. Or like I said, you can email me after the yes podcast at gmail.com. So did you like it? What do you think? I hope that was helpful to everyone, even those that did not submit questions. And here we go. You know, as we say in my culture, AP, that's it. So we got through another episode, you guys. I appreciate you so much. And I truly love doing this with you. So I'm going to close it out. Have a wonderful, amazing remainder of the day. Thanks for joining me. And I hope you'll be back soon. It's me, Sarah Jane, with love. after the yes.